8 minutes past 8 o'clock. Our top story as well this morning on Three Counties Breakfast is 15 councils, including 6 from the 3 counties, have launched a legal challenge to the proposed high-speed train line from London to Birmingham. Bucks County Council and 5 districts have asked for a judicial review over the government's decision to press ahead with the project. Well, Martin Tett is the Conservative leader of Buckinghamshire County Council and joins us on Breakfast this morning. Martin, welcome to the programme. Was the idea to launch this legal challenge, did it come as an easy decision for you as a council?
Hi, Laura. Good morning. No, it didn't. I have to say we've agonised over this quite a lot because using ratepayers' money, that's your money, my money, everybody else who's listening to this radio's money, to challenge the government is something we do with incredible reluctance. But we really did feel the government had left us with no alternative. Effectively, they'd carried out a consultation on a national strategy, but effectively everybody north of Birmingham up to Manchester and up to Leeds whose lives are going to be, quite frankly, traumatised by this. Their property is going to be devalued and blighted. And they knew nothing about this. They were just not really involved in the consultation. And we think that's fundamentally unfair. And the government has made a massive mistake on this.
For taxpayers who are listening this morning and thinking, well, hang on, I know we're in austere times. I know that our councils all need to make massive, huge savings over the next few years. And frontline services are seeing the cuts on that and other services too. How do you justify to the lady that comes to you and says, my mother's care home has been taken away because there isn't the money to run it? Or my daughter who's got disabilities can't go to her community centre anymore because the service has had to be stopped because there's no funding, but at the same time you're using my council tax money to try and stop high speed too. How have you justified it as a council?
Well, they're very good questions. It's a very fair question for anyone to ask us. I mean, fundamentally, first of all, by acting together as 15 councils, we can do this far more cost effectively than, for example, one council doing it in isolation. So we can actually put the legal costs really divvied up amongst 15 councils, which makes it a relatively small amount of money. And secondly, just talking about Bucks specifically, what we've done is we've taken the cost of fighting this again out of our reserves. So this isn't money that's coming from our normal everyday expenditure. We're not cutting any services to fund this. This is money out of effectively like a piggy bank, like we all have in terms of savings accounts to save up for a rainy day. And we just feel this is so traumatic for so many people. This is a time when we've really got to step forward and actually support our residents and defend our residents. And this is the time you actually empty up the piggy and take some money out of it.
You know, that piggy bank may frustrate some people at the moment, Martin, because they're thinking, well, how long services have been cut? I've told we need to tighten our belts. Our council's got no money. Then you've got this big slush fund going on, it seems.
Well, it's not a slush fund. It's just like anybody else. You know, you have your own income every month from your salary, and you have a few pounds in the piggy bank just in case you need it for a rainy day. But the reserves are something you can only spend once. You can only raise your savings on one occasion. What you can't do is spend year after year after year after year on everyday services from your reserves. So every council is advised to keep a small pot of reserves, but you can't use those to fund everyday services. But coming back to HS2, I mean, this is so important. Just remember, it goes right the way through Buckinghamshire, it goes through parts of Oxfordshire, it goes through parts of Hertfordshire, right the way up. It is destroying the lives of so many people, and the government is spending 750 million in this term alone with consultants and spin merchants to promote this. We are spending a tiny amount of money by comparison to stand up and defend the interests of our residents.
How much are you spending, Martin?
Well, we reckon the legal challenge will be something like £68,000 spread amongst the authorities who are supporting this.
There's no guarantees, though, is it, that this is money well spent?
Oh, we think we've had good legal advice. We've taken top legal advice. We think the government has acted in a very cavalier manner in this, and we think there's a substantive case for the government to answer. Otherwise, we would not be doing this.
Are you confident that this will lead to a change, and we can sit here in 6 months, a year, even 2 years' time, and say to the residents of Buckinghamshire, oh, you know the HS2 they were going to build? It's not happening. It will be our top story that morning, but is it ever going to happen?
Well, first of all, there's 2 different questions. I mean, is it going to stop HS2? Well, we've put forward 4 major grounds for legal challenge, and it depends which, if any, quite frankly, the judge supports. But what it's likely to do is actually say, well, what the government did wrong, they have to redo and put right. So this is likely to inject significant delays into this programme, potentially years of delay if we win our case. And we think that's the best way of trying to actually stop this project, because 6 months, 12 months, 2 years worth of delay, lots can change if you think what's happened in the last couple of years. So we think this is the right tactic to use. It's the only one the government have left us with. Just remember, 55,000 people did respond to this consultation. 91% were actually against this project, and the government effectively ignored them. So we think this is the only option we've been left by the government.
And Martin, I know this is not the last time that we'll ever talk about it. In fact, there'll be many more occasions, I'm sure. Many thanks for talking to us this morning on Three Counties Breakfast. Martin Tett, the Conservative leader of Buckinghamshire County Council.
And on that subject, Bob in Chesham says here, the cost to taxpayers of legal action against HS2 is insignificant compared to the cost to the taxpayers if the scheme goes ahead. This will be over £1,000 to every household in the country.